Okay.
Welcome to the UDP broadcast, a podcast where a group of friends get together and talk about gaming related topics, offering both informed and uninformed opinions. I'm your host, Luminary, and I'm being duoed with the Eternal Barcode, Imee.
Hello, everybody. My name is Imee, and I am a barcode.
Game we got in the background is, what was it, Starhaven? Is that what it was? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Starhaven. We're at episode 128. We're really pushing up there.
I know, it's weird.
Yeah, I know. So before we get started in that, we have words. Imee.
We do. All the proceeds from the show go to the Trevor Project. The Trevor Project is the leading organization in the U.S. to help stem the tide of LGBTQ youth suicides. They offer all kinds of different programming and support for kids. So if you have any extra money kicking around, please feel free to throw it their way. They desperately need it. And also, it's an opinion show. We have opinions. They're likely uninformed, but don't sue us. We don't have money, and I'll just take your servers and eat them.
Yep. Before we push forward, one quick announcement. Banana Tune, happy 147th birthday. I don't know how old you are, and I'm not willing to dox you, but happy birthday.
140th birthday.
Yep.
Excellent.
You'll be 104 every time I announce it. So, other than that, so there's a few things out there to talk about on my side. I know that you had something you wanted to talk about this week, Jaime. What you got?
No. I mean, so I don't know how to start. I made a comment on Twitter, and my Twitter account's now banned because someone didn't like what I had to say. And all I did was question something in terms of service, and it now made me banned, and it's kind of funny and also kind of pathetic at the same time. Basically, if you're going to write a terms of service, don't use ChatGPT to translate. And if you do, run it by lawyers who are fluent in the language you're training or you're translating it to make sure it makes sense contextually. Because there was all kinds of things I found in the TOS for this game, which I'm not going to mention because fuck this noise. There were some very, very interesting ways of wording things that should maybe have been reviewed by a lawyer. One of the things was like, you can't steal without a license or consent. I'm sure they meant you can't steal company intellectual property or something without consent, but then it's not stealing. Like that doesn't make any sense. Like that word should not be used because it doesn't make consent contextually. Because you can't steal with consent because then it's not stealing, and you can't steal with a license because nobody's going to issue a stealing license. So it was just weird things like that in the TOS that I found that didn't make any sense. And then within about 2 or 3 days of posting that, I was banned for bot-like behavior. What?
Yeah, I don't even know what's up. I feel kind of bad because I know how much you love EULAs, and I'm just like, man.
Yeah, I've never heard of someone getting so offended that they had to, get somebody banned. Like, to me, that is the ultimate in patheticness. It does not make any sense whatsoever to do that to somebody, because you're looking at someone who's a potential customer of the game and wanting to possibly buy it, but then to turn around and be like, my ego was so badly bruised by someone pointing out, a vocabulary mistake in our TOS, I'm going to have them banned because I'm, a dipshit, apparently.
What you posted wasn't even all that bad. It was like, hey.
No, it was literally just like, this word makes no sense. You should consider revising it. And banned. Like, are you fucking serious? So yeah, that ruined my fun. I still will buy the game because I support the company, and I want to see the company get their sales targets to get the $250 million payout that the executives were and the team were owed because the publisher was a weak idiot who spent $750 million on the or almost up to $750 million on the game studio. So the weak moron spent nearly $750 million and got upset that I commented on their TOS. God, you're pathetic.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's all I have. God damn it.
Yeah, I don't even know what to make of that, man. I was just sitting there thinking.
It's pathetic. There's no other way to describe that level of like pettiness.
Mm-hmm.
My fifis were hurt. I'm going to take it out on them. Okay.
Well, I know I want to support their development as well. They had a sale for Subnautica Sub-Zero, and Subnautica 2 for like $40, and I was like, all right, I've got 40 bones. Let's just go ahead and grab that. So
yeah.
I'll be playing that at some point, but I also want it to be in a more complete state because of early access. But I also want them to have the money because they do good work, and that's the only reason why I will ever do early access anything. So. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, it's. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, it's nothing. I'm just sitting there, just pontificating on the entire idea of like how much I despise early access. But there are just some where it's like I know the developer, they produce good quality. I want to give them money, and it's not Kickstarter, so it just made sense to me.
Yeah,
Kickstarter is like, I don't know. At one point, it was a great place, but now it's just garbage. I don't even know. I've got friends that get good things out of there, but you have to wait like almost 3 years to get it. And I'm like, but I spent money now. Why can't I have it like next month? Just like,
yeah.
Do you remember the unboxing of Isaac?
No.
Okay, so Maestro Media partnered up with Edna McMillan and whatnot to produce a bunch of T-shirts and specialized cards for the Four Souls expansion for their card game, The Binding of Isaac. And I was like, oh yeah, no, like I could totally do some T-shirts. I'll subscribe to the T-shirt every month type thing, and I'll pay up for a year, right? And they were going to start distributing T-shirts, and I was like, cool, I can't wait to get my first T-shirt because I had bought T-shirts for myself and my youngest kid. We were both playing the crap out of Binding of Isaac, watching Sinvicta, the whole thing. Like we were doing the thing. And we weren't getting our shirts. I'm like, what the hell's going on? So I started looking at the tracking, and it hadn't even been shipped, and I was going to get in contact with them. And I noticed that it was different for people who did a year in advance. And mind you, that's like $470 worth of T-shirts. So multiply that by 2 for me. And they were like, yeah, no, we're saving them up, and we'll send them to you once the last T-shirt goes out. So it took almost 13 months to get 13 T-shirts, a bunch of specialized cards for the game. And it was just like,
good Lord.
Yeah, it was badly handled and badly communicated because I was expecting those shirts. And those, I don't know if you've seen the shirts, but they're really good.
I have not, actually.
You should go look them up sometime. But yeah, that kind of reminded me of the whole early access Kickstarter. Like, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens to Subnautica 2. But I'm gonna wait for a few patches out and see what's gonna go on.
Yeah, I'm really excited to play it, but same thing. I'm gonna wait a little bit. Yeah. I think to at least get some patches out of the way.
Yep, I know.
And then it should be fine.
I know that the community's fist fighting the developers, like, we would really like combat in the game. So apparently Subnautica 2 doesn't have combat. And I remember...
Well, the first one didn't either. Like, you just explored, you beat up the occasional sea monster that tried to eat you. But there was no combat at all. Like, okay.
Yeah. I don't know what it means either, but there's that. You also posted something about the new Warhammer game. Or not the new one, Darktide.
Yeah, Darktide, they have a new... what is it? What am I trying to say? New class coming out. It's the Skitarii Ranger, essentially. And if you don't know what those are, it's the male. It's like the actual. I want to say creatures, but they're not really. Like they are augmented humans. In the Mechanicus, the Adeptus Mechanicus actually do like the real fighting because tech priests and everything NCers, they tend to stay, like the guys in the robes tend to stay away from combat and only really get involved if they have to. And then they use their Skitarii to do all the heavy lifting, to do all the fighting and everything else. So that is coming. And it's interesting that people were asking about it. That, if they could get tech priests. And the reason they hadn't been given tech priests earlier was because they didn't want, or they couldn't figure out a way to bring it into the universe. Um, Basically because a tech priest is insanely overpowered for this world, for this setting, whereas a Skitarii Ranger is going to be more appropriate. They're not turbo overpowered. They can get killed because they are a disposable troop. That's how they're built and how they're utilized. So it makes more sense to do it that way. So I'm pretty excited to see how this goes.
Yeah, I was reading some of the articles that you posted up, and it seems like a highly adaptable class, and you can actually race or whatever it is they call it in Warhammer, and you can actually change the way they play by what augments you actually add to them, which was kind of neat.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the choices are in terms of upgrades, because I think it's going to add some really, really cool depth to the game, and I can't wait to play it.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Destiny 2 is ending soon. I played Destiny 1. It's all right. But the history behind Destiny, I kind of stay away from it just a little bit. It's Bungie, and Bungie did Halo, right? And you think, okay,
Mm-hmm.
creators of Halo, that should be good. But I remember um, when they did Destiny 1, under Activision Blizzard before they were part of Microsoft. The microtransactions were so egregious. Even Activision Blizzard was like, "Whoa, hey, you need to slow it down."
Yeah, like when Microsoft tells you to slow down microtransactions, that's going a little too far, probably.
Yeah, no, they weren't part of Microsoft at that particular point. So, but yeah, no, like it was a whole thing. So they're keeping it open just like they're doing with Destiny 1, which is kind of nice. So they're probably going to do maybe quality of life updates or security updates going forward, but I don't think there's going to be any new major content or anything like that being released for the game. So, but I do know that it feels good when you do play it. I'm just not wanting to throw my money that particular direction. So there's that. Oh, let's see here. What else do I have on the list? Oh, Animal Party is in trouble.
Oh,
Yep.
what happened?
Well, they decided they wanted to host an AI video generated contest.
Oh no.
Yep. And right now, AI is the stinky buzzword that gets people really upset really quickly.
Yeah. Oof.
Yep. So they had to backtrack that and cancel the whole contest because there are people in the field who are just like, there's no creativity in AI generated art at all, whether it's video or anything like that. And I know that we've talked about AI a lot over the last few years as it's become more prevalent, and there are certain use cases for it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like I think even Pal World said that they use theirs for concept designs, but the actual modeling and everything else was actually done by people, all the artwork, finishing touches, things like that, so you can get a good idea of what's going on. But none of the assets were generated to be put into the game. They were generated for ideas, which is kind of nice. But in this particular case, it's we want you to make AI generated videos with our characters. So I'm kind of on the fence about this one because they're wanting to use their assets to do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Is
Wait.
not yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I did hear you right. They. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but still, I mean, it all comes down to creativity, and AI is the statistical culmination and average and standard deviation of all things ever created to create something that is okay.
Yeah, and like I think people forget what AI really is. It's the most average of averages that could have ever averaged. because it was trained on the most average of average things. And I don't think people fully understand what that actually means. So, yeah, it's really funny, actually.
It is. I'm also on the side of like, well, generate your AI videos because number one, you used it on a free account. That means it costs you nothing, and it costs the host everything,
Yes.
just in tokens. Like AI tokens are expensive, so it's one way to stick it to them. AI right now is currently in a loss cycle, and all kinds of crazy stuff is happening. Even Microsoft is kind of backtracking, but going forward with it. There was an article today that I was reading where they were destroying the middle management structure, and there's going to be direct reporting from like I'm going to call them district managers. It's not what they are. Straight to executives, so they've got a direct
Mhm.
pipeline, which puts all responsibility of anything that fucks up directly in the executive's hands.
Okay. That
So we're gonna
ain't good.
nope, it's not good at all. So we're gonna see how that turns out. I remember talking with my special group, and I'm like, "Yep, just I'm just gonna wait until the share price goes back down to $60, and then I might invest again. But I'm gonna wait for this to implode. I don't know what happened. Like
Yeah.
somebody drank the sauce, and yeah,
Somebody got a lot of promotion points
hmm
for coming up with that idea.
yeah. So yeah,
God.
no. I mean, if you're going to use AI, make sure you use free, and you just absolutely destroy the environment and make their bank accounts go down.
Yes.
Indeed.
Or not destroy the environment because we still have to live here, people.
Yeah, well, the whole thing is based on utilization, right? The moment they start charging at the free tier is when people will be like, yeah, I'm not that attached to this.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
And I would like to see them get to that sooner rather than later.
yep. I mean, as it stands right now, there's so many AI data centers right now soaking up electricity and water that it's making it almost prohibitive to live in the areas where these data centers exist.
It really
Because,
is. I've heard a lot of people complaining about it, and I've been reading some stories about people who've had to basically move as a result.
well, yeah, if you can't afford to live there, because we live in a supply and demand structure, and if the supply is being sucked up by an AI data center and it's not being returned, because it's getting evaporated out into the environment, along with like your power costing like a bazillion cents per kilowatt hour. I mean, can't afford to live there. I mean, but what can you do?
Yeah.
I know that something similar happened when Bitcoin mining before they moved to a trust model where they were actually crunching math in order to do transactions.
Yeah.
Like, that was like the
I
biggest
remember the
stream.
original models.
So,
Oh,
but yeah, no, like as it goes, as it gets consumed, it's just gonna get worse and worse and worse, and that's unfortunate. And it is the price of progress, and I'm willing to acknowledge that. Doesn't mean it's right, but what can I do about it? I'm just a dude yelling into a microphone.
I mean, that's what we all do.
Yeah.
Really, is we all scream into the void.
hmm
That's all we ever do. Just scream into the void.
Yep. So, I mean, there are some other good things like the generalized chat bot is not too bad as long as you have domains of knowledge of the thing that you're asking about. So, like, if you're not a nuclear physicist, don't get advice on how to do nuclear fission from an AI bot. I mean, that's just
Oh
what comes
God,
down
no.
to it.
And
And
like, don't use Chat GPT to try and figure out a way to do a hostile takeover of a company you paid 500 million for
yep.
because you're an idiot.
Wait, did that actually happen? Because that
Well,
was
yeah,
very
we talked about
specific.
it last week. He we talked about it last week on the show. The CEO of the publisher that shall not be named paid $500 million for the studio that built the submarine game you were just talking about. I'm trying to avoid getting us in trouble and getting your Twitter account shut down
I don't care.
out
Do
of
it.
petty bullshit.
I'm willing to
But
burn the entire world down. So say whatever you want.
so they paid 500 million for the studio, and then he said, if you hit your sales targets, we'll give you another 250. So that's why he consulted with his lawyers first, saying, "Hey, how do I get out of this deal? I don't want to seem like I'm weak." And the lawyers were like, "Dude, don't even try." And then he's like, "Hey, ChatGPT, how do I do this?" And ChatGPT is like, "I'm an idiot. Here's how you could instigate a hostile takeover." And then he lost the lawsuit. The original CEO is back with 100% control of the company and all money and decision-making abilities therein. And the publisher can't do fuck all other than suck up the L, put in a clause in their terms of service, which I have not agreed to because I don't own the game, about how you're not allowed to disparage the company or make fun of it. So I make fun of it not owning the game, not violating the TOS, and then he turns around and gets all pissy and has me banned. I'm not bitter. Oh wait, no, I am. I am bitter, but I'm also really amused at the pettiness.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you go, girl. That is some supreme pettiness. Good God.
Dude. Let's see here. What else have I got? There's two more things that I've got on my list. One is, what was her name? It was like Cracker Grandma or something like that. Let me get the,
Oh yeah,
Grandma
I saw the
Crackers.
article you were talking about.
Yeah, Grandma Crackers. She decided to try to beat Minecraft on a stream to raise money for her grandson's cancer treatments. That's a fairly noble cause. I think so. But as the internet does, it likes to ruin good things, and somebody had her house swatted.
Of course, is she all right?
Oh yeah, no, it's like I was reading the articles, and she was like, "Oh, it was actually quite pleasant. I was kind of confused at first, but they were all so nice, and the ride in the back of the police car was great. Like she had like this great you know, this great
So,
wholesome view of the whole thing. Like our whole family like hugged her and was like, "Take care of yourself," the whole thing.
oh my
So
God, that's actually kind of funny that they tried so hard to ruin someone's life and potentially get them killed. And then, it didn't happen and no one's worse for wear.
yeah, it wastes time, resources, and it's just a pain in the ass. I mean,
It really does waste resources, and I wish people who did that kind of crap, if they got caught,
mhm.
they would not only be billed for the cost of those responses, but then criminally charged on top of that.
Yeah,
For
because
in a lot
that's
of
like a
cases, I
false
would like to
911
see it
call.
as well, yeah, and I'd like, and with how dangerous swatting can be, and how easy it is for some confusion to happen where bullets are shot or are fired, I would like to see people charged with attempted murder each and every time they do it,
Yeah, no, that's
because
fair.
like it can go so wrong so quickly if someone doesn't understand or recognize what's going on, and I would like to see people held like super accountable for this kind of crap. Can I rename this ship?
You should rename the ship.
I don't know if I can.
You
I don't want to
should
be
be able
called
to.
the Jonas. Oh, there we go. We're gonna call this Cursor. Come here. Oh my God, what am I doing? I think this. Oh,
Very let's game it out approach.
yes. I was going for that reference.
Yeah, no, swatting is definitely terrible. Some of our favorite YouTubers and Twitch streamers have had it happen live on scene. It's happened to Doctor
Yep.
Disrespect, along with other crazy stuff. I hate mentioning his name, but he's had people drive by his house and fire live rounds into it. So
Ew.
yeah, is on top of being swatted and everything else. And it's interesting because if you ever hear them talk about it, they're like, yeah, no, we have to work with local authorities, let them know who we are, so that way if calls come in, they know that they can potentially ignore it, or at least come in a lot less hostile than kicking down a door.
Yeah. Like I said, I wish people would be held to a higher standard
Hmm.
and really get raked over the coals for that sort of thing.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure there's probably stuff being put into place. Those 911 calls are recorded and tracked somehow. I mean, unless you're like hiding behind like phone forwarding services. or you're using a soft phone through VPN, but it's got to be registered somewhere. Who knows? But yeah, no. Grandma Crackers is still doing her thing, and she was very very not nonchalant, reflective about the whole situation and how nice everyone was. There was a quote that was in either the Kotaku article or the Eurogamer article or the PC Gamer article where she was like, "Yeah, no, I was shaken awake by a nice young policewoman who could look like she could bend somebody into a pretzel."
That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Let me just fold you, please.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Yeah, no, there's some people you look at as like, oh, they could fold me like laundry, and you just don't want to do it. So
yeah, when you start getting that massive, I'm just, whatever you're going to do, I'm just going to accept that because you are huge and I am not. And I will get really, really mangled very, very quickly.
Yeah, I'm
so,
fat. I'm
no,
fat and out
you.
of breath. So we'll cut this chase. Just what are we doing? I'll cooperate while it's on my nightstand. So it's one of those things. Last thing I've got, honestly, it's gonna be a short episode this week.
Apparently.
So this is going to be out of your purview just a little bit, but I do want to talk about it. The creator or one of the directors or creators of the Final Fantasy series, his name is Hironobu Sakaguchi. And there was this wonderful trailer that hit my TikTok feed not too long ago for a Final Fantasy VI remake. I knew it was AI generated, but it was really well done. And I'm just like, because I played the crap out of that game. I spent so many hours in that game doing crazy shit. And I was like, this would be nice if this was an actual thing that happens, right? It looked really good. And Hironobu Sakaguchi actually had a hand in that project. And he looked at it and was like, wow, this is great. And as the internet does, decided to tear him up one side and down the other because it was an AI generated video. Mind you,
yeah, like I'm of a mixed opinion on this.
Mm-hmm.
I will freely admit that if your AI content is trained and developed on licensed whatever, like imagery, text, or whatever else, I'm cool with that. Like, have fun with your AI crap. Go nuts, and I'm not going to complain about it as long as it's licensed. If it's unlicensed and it's like open AI stuff, I'm gonna rake you over the coals for stealing from people who actually did hard work. And like even Claude, I don't even use that because that was basically ripping off GitHub en masse, and I'm not gonna use that. Like fuck that noise. So if the video was done with licensed content to train the AI, cool. If it wasn't, then I'm not interested.
I mean, technically, it was licensed. It was done by SquareSoft at that particular point before they merged with Enix Eidos. So instead of Squeenix, it was just SquareSoft.
Yeah, but if it was ChatGPT, but then using the licensed assets, that's a different story because ChatGPT was trained on publicly available stuff without proper attribution, without licensing. So that's where I have a bit of a problem. Is it depends on how the base of the AI was built, not the assets it used to make the video.
Gotcha.
That's
That
what
makes
I
a lot
mean.
more sense. Perfect. Yeah, I know because we
Yeah,
don't.
sorry, I wasn't really clear on that, but yeah, it's how did you develop it in the first place? Because that's where I'm going to look at. Is do I have a problem with this? Yes or no?
Yeah.
And it's entirely dependent on how was the original AI trained and built. And if it was on licensed stuff, very cool. If it's on unlicensed stuff, I'm not going to be a fan of it.
Well, he got ribbed by his previous colleagues, saying, "Hey, this is AI generated, right?" And he goes, "Well, yeah, of course I know it's AI generated. It looks really neat as a concept. I'd love to see this happen. I'd love to see because Final Fantasy VI is a good candidate for a 3D remake. It really is. I'd like to see it. That'd be great. At least that's my personal opinion on the whole. But he should have just stopped there because then he was like, "Yeah, no, I do concept stuff all the time with AI." I started posting stuff from like the things that he did from Lost Odyssey and animating it and things like that. So the entire internet you're either in one of a few camps. One is AI bad, don't use it. The other is AI good, look what I can do, and the others are thieves. So That's really all there is to it.
Fair enough.
Yep. I know that I'd like to see more models come out with more localized models for local generation. At that point, you have control over what data actually comes through, as opposed to using an API service. That would be ideal. I mean, most of those models are
Hmm.
way too massive to host locally, but for somebody who has the ability to have, I don't know, 85 Raspberry Pis clustered together or whatever.
All the Raspberry Pis.
Right, like their electric meter on the outside of their house is just a spinning. Maybe, maybe that's a thing. Like, there's a lot of good conversational models out there that I've used in some of my projects. I've never released any of them. I wanted to do one for a single person D&D campaign where the AI model just takes control of like the players, the DM, and has separate different personalities running off the same model and communicates with itself in order to do the things that you need to do for a regular D&D campaign without losing track. So I was working on that for a little bit. It became too clumsy and cumbersome because the local models take forever to come up with a response. And I had like a Yahoo chat style interface to it. So it looked like you were playing with remote people, which is kind of neat.
Mm, nice.
So, yeah. So it was neat, and it ran at your pace too. So if you had to go up and get a drink, use a bathroom, or if you got kid aggro or whatnot, it just stayed in place. It didn't care if it waited or not. So it was a neat concept, and I liked working with it. But it was just a huge strain on the machine, and testing took forever because it ran the CUDA drivers, and running anything on your local machine is just terrible. Which is why you have multi GPU machines doing this out in the data center, destroying the environment.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I've got. Those are the things that I found that tickled my fancy.
You
Grandma
you did
crackers
poke
and
me with something. What did you
oh,
poke me with? Oh yeah, Wizards of the Coast. What was all this about?
that one. I didn't pull that up or read it, so I couldn't tell you. But the title
Oh
was interesting.
no.
The title was what was it? I think you just read it, which is why you were like, "Oh no."
Uh, we'll put a pin in this for next week. But Wizards of the Coast begs staff to think twice before voting to unionize.
Yeah, and that
Oh
had that
no.
had IME written all over it, so I was just like, no,
Oh
no.
no. Oh, what's this? I got a very special letter from work, but so far no unions. No unions though have shown up to my house as forewarned. Maybe because they're already here. Oh no. Did they? What is okay? So what I'm seeing from the article is someone's Blue Sky post. Um, it's an anti-union letter. Oh my fucking god! Okay, I can't wait to read this for next week. Because holy shit, this is gonna be so stupid.
I
It
figured,
looks like it's just begging, like an actual begging of, please don't. So my favorite thing that I see employers doing when they're trying to avoid unions is they always use a line of like, oh well, you'll ruin the personal relationship we have with you as a person. You don't have a personal relationship with me. You have a I'm a liability because you have to pay me relationship. And you will do the very bare minimum to do that. Like, good lord. Oh
oh
my god, that's gonna be amazing. I will read that for next week to see where we're at with that and what the hell's going on.
yeah, no. After my last stint with my last employer, like, companies are not your friends.
No, oh god, no.
Nope. Like
No, they
I thought bettering the
yeah.
business would keep me relevant and useful, and it does not at all.
No, it's yeah, the relationship that the employer has with the employee is very much one of convenience, I guess is a good way to put it. And it's not it's not as altruistic as some employers would try to make it seem. Like they try and throw in this really friendly face and, oh, we're just doing the right thing for you. No, you're doing the legal bare minimum so you don't get sued. Let's be honest. If you could get away with paying people less money for the same work, especially when it comes to minorities and women, 100% you're going to do that because it is in your best interest as a company to suppress wages. That's why unions exist, is because they can't trust that the employer has their best interest in mind. And until employers figure this out, it's going to we're going to see a lot of this stuff where people just unionize because they're like, I'm so done with being treated like crap.
Yeah. Like, I really wish the union came through. I know for a while there on previous podcasts, I was talking about seeing if I can get CWA to cover us as well. And that didn't go very well. I never got a chance to contact somebody to see if we can get that done. But everybody was so overworked and whatnot. Like, you remember me during my period of unemployment? That was just terrible.
Oh yeah, and the nice thing with having a union is a lot of the time you can negotiate how terminations happen and ensuring that you don't just get a phone call saying, yeah, you're gone, we're blocking your access, goodbye. Like, you actually get some sort of severance, you can get some sort of a warning that you're going to be laid off. Those are a lot of the protections that unions can provide. And what's fun is a lot of people don't understand how unions work. They just see it as, well, they say they can get me more pay, but that's not the only thing. Money is for sure one of the things, but it's also working conditions. And people don't really understand how valuable working conditions are until they're in crap working conditions.
Some of
Like,
those
once you're in
folks,
shitty. Sorry?
some of those folks don't realize they're in crap working conditions until they realize that they were in crap working conditions. I was one of those people.
Yeah. And it's a shame because it's so easy to suppress the terribleness of the working conditions, because you get rid of the people who might be a little bit more vocal, who might, be interested in ensuring that they're all looked after type thing. And yeah, it's fairly frustrating when you see that happening.
It also doesn't help that, at least here in the States, I'm not sure about Canada, but like most of the states are at will employers. Like
Yeah.
they don't have to give you any notice. They don't have to do anything other than, like you said, one phone call and you're out. Like, there's no courtesy. There's no reach around. Like, it's just like, hey, you've outlasted your usefulness and we have a bottom line to keep. So kick rocks.
Yeah, and that is by far not right, by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, politically, it's
And
very right. Certainly not left.
yeah, God damn it.
Got to get a political joke in there somewhere.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, no, I'm all for it. I I really wish we had it, but that's that's a circus from another time. It's no longer my monkeys, no longer my issues to deal with. So,
Not my monkeys, not my circus.
yep, that saying right there. I have friends and still working, and they're just like, it's fucking. But other than that, I don't think I have anything else on the docket, unless you have some random stuff. Like the Wizard of the Coast thing was certainly something to bring up. I look forward to hearing about that next week. I'm not sure if we'll have Cajun or Raina, or if it's just us, we'll knock it out. So, yeah, that's it. Let's do round table. What are you doing this week, Amy?
Trying out this video game that you so graciously got me.
Oh yeah,
I'm very interested to see how this plays, and I'm excited to play it.
It looks
It's,
pretty slick, like actually watching you play it while we're doing this podcast. And I remember watching Splattercat do it, and it looked amazing. And I'm like, I bet you Amy's going to cut out the walls and see if they can remove oxygen. And you literally did that pre-show. So
yes.
I was just like, yep,
Look,
the desired effect was had.
just because I'm a psychopath doesn't mean I'm a psychopath. No, wait, it really does.
So, but yeah, no,
And we have some space combat with space cockroaches.
yep. And this is on top of like the art is very well done. The animations look really good. The injury stuff that happens is very, I'm not going to say realistic, but it is just realistic enough to be like, oh, yeah, no, like they're bleeding out. They need to go back to the base and heal. And
Yeah, I'm definitely liking this.
so I'm looking forward to seeing what you say about it moving forward. I guess is always over so
Yeah.
fast. Yeah, well, we didn't have a lot to go on this week, so
No.
no.
It's a pretty light week. Definitely curious as to what's going to go on in the next couple days.
Yeah.
Very interested to see what happens with Wizards of the Coast for sure.
Oh yeah.
Aha.
Oh, if I find those in the bot, I'll tag you in them. You can do whatever you want with them. Just if you want to keep that particular one in the forum, so that way you can reference it again.
Yeah, I think I will
Yeah.
because I definitely can't wait to read over this letter that was sent home to employees, and b look at the responses because
Okay.
oh my god.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, the bots. It looks for 7 days of inactivity before it removes it from or retires it from the forum. So if you want, you can just like give it a comments at like Wednesday or something like that. Or I love these Discord forums because they're searchable. You can look up Wizards of the Coast and it'll pull up every
Oh
article
yeah.
that's ever posted. So,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
what am I doing this week? Right now, I am still picking up on my sequel work, which has been absolutely incredible. I've actually designed quite a few pipelines and have pitched some ideas that are actually come to fruition. This is why I like working for smaller companies because a lot of times things aren't in place and you get to design them, and that's fantastic. I love doing that kind of thing. Let's see here. Game wise, I have this game that Imy's playing, which I want to poke at. There's a few other ones I picked up. I played Slay the Princess yesterday, and that was dark and fun. Have you ever seen Slay the Princess, Imy?
I have not actually.
I'm not one for visual novels, but this was really good. And I remember when I downloaded, it was like 18 gigs. What's in this thing? And it's pretty intense. It's dark and very manipulative. I like it. So it's a lot less storytelling and waifu and a lot more. This is dark shit you're dealing with. So it was a lot of fun. Let's see here. I know that Pal World hit 1.0, so that's on my list of things to mess around with. There's a new space game that's coming out called Star Miner that looks really good. Splattercat was messing around with it, and I'm going to tell you this. I mean, one of the
Hmm.
things that happens. Think of it like it is a you have your own spaceship, and you get to put it together like Legos, but you actually get to drive the Legos to the ship and dock them and everything else. And he was building a space station, and he was locking stuff together, and once he got it together, it was okay. And all of a sudden, it started wobbling back and forth. Like, what is going on? Is this a glitch? Turned out the stabilizers were over stabilizing, so it was sitting there just looked like your low rider going through the street playing bassy music. So
Nice.
yeah, no. He ended up fixing that. He thought it was a bug, and he was like, "Nope, it's just I'm dumb." So no, that's the thing on my list. That comes out on the 27th. What else is there? Other than that, I'm still doing stuff, still trying to find ways to improve the world and make the world a better place. And yeah, eventually retire happy at some point.
Yeehaw.
Yeah. So other than that, that is episode 128 in the books. Thanks for stopping by. If you like what you heard here, please do feel free smash that subscribe button, or on Twitch. If you don't want to donate, you can certainly subscribe to my channel and ignore all the ads that come through. We typically try to keep the I'm trying to think pre-roll ads out. So whenever you're here actually listening to the podcast, or if you drop in, there's no ad that is going to penetrate you and be like, you should
Ew.
buy
Why would you say
icons.
it that way?
That's what it is. It's
Ew.
either that, or you see like the little banner pop up and shrink the view, and yeah, just annoying. But we'd rather you donate to the Trevor Project. Do it directly. Do it through my donation link. Do it just because. Suicide's a serious thing, and our vulnerable community of LGBTQ youth individuals is very important. They are our future, and they're going to shape exactly how our world's going to be while we're in walkers and canes. So
Absolutely.
be nice.
I couldn't have said that better myself.
So, but yeah, that's it. I think that's, yeah, no. So, with the lack of Cajun, I'll go ahead and see us out. Stay awesome. Keep it classy. And remember,
Don't be a dick.
I don't know how that became our outro at all. I think Cajun just did it, or I spent too much time with him when I was like dual streaming with him with Pokemon. So,
I think it is fantastic. I don't know what you're complaining about.
oh no, it's great. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just
Of all the things we could say, we chose that thing.
yeah. Okay, let's see here. Who is up and doing things?